Most people think July is the end of the road for planting. They see the heat, they feel the sun beating down, and they close up their seed packets for the season. But here's what those people don't know: July is secretly one of the most underrated planting windows of the entire year. There are crops out there that don't just survive summer heat, they thrive in it. And a few of them? They'll actually produce faster now than they would have back in spring. So before you write off your garden for the season, stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll have an entirely new game plan. Welcome back to Earthly Gardening. If you're new here, so glad you found us. This is the place where we make sure your garden keeps growing without your wallet taking a hit. And for everyone coming back, thank you seriously, you keep this little community going. Real quick before we get into it, if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that button right now. We drop practical gardening tips every week and you don't want to miss what's coming. And if you're already part of the family, drop a comment below and tell me what's growing in your garden right now. I read every single one. Crop 1, green beans. Let's start with one that might surprise you. Green beans in July sounds risky, but it is actually one of the smartest moves you can make this month. These plants are warm season growers through and through, and they germinate fast in hot soil. We're talking 7 to 10 days and you've already got sprouts pushing through the ground. That speed alone makes them worth considering when you're working with a shrinking growing window. Bush varieties especially are your best friend right now because they don't need any staking, they don't need a trellis, they just grow low and compact and get to work. You're looking at a harvest window of about 50 to 60 days, which means if you plant this week, you could be snapping fresh beans well into September. That's not a small thing. September harvests are the kind that make your neighbors look over the fence and wonder what you're doing differently. The trick with July planting is watering. Green beans hate sitting in dry, cracked soil, so keep that moisture consistent, especially while they're flowering. Miss that window and the pods get stringy and tough. The flowers drop before they even set pods and your harvest disappears before it starts. Keep the water steady, mulch around the base to trap that moisture in, and those beans will reward you with a flush of pods that just keeps coming. Pick them young and often to keep production going strong. Crop 2, cucumbers. Cucumbers are basically built for this moment. They love heat, they love long sunny days, and they grow so fast in summer conditions that you'll almost feel like you're watching them in real time. A lot of gardeners think cucumber season is over by July, but that is simply not true. Cucumbers planted now will produce heavily through August and even into early fall depending on where you live. Go with a bush cucumber variety if you're short on space, or let a vining type climb a fence or trellis if you've got room. Vertical growing actually helps with airflow and keeps the fruit cleaner and easier to spot at harvest time. Either way, the key thing to remember is that cucumbers are thirsty. They're made up of mostly water, so they need consistent watering at the root level, not splashing the leaves, because wet foliage in summer heat is an open invitation for powdery mildew and other fungal issues that will shut your plant down fast. Water at the base, mulch around the plant to hold that moisture in, and check on them regularly because cucumbers that stay on the vine too long turn bitter and signal the plant to stop producing. Harvest them while they're firm and bright and the plant will just keep pushing out more. 1 or 2 plants can genuinely keep a household supplied with cucumbers for weeks straight. Crop 3, summer squash. If you want something that grows almost aggressively, summer squash is it. Zucchini, yellow squash, pattypan are all perfectly happy going into the ground in July. They germinate quickly, they establish fast, and they produce big waves that feel almost relentless once they get going. In fact, one of the most common complaints from gardeners who grow squash is that they end up with way too much of it. Neighbors start avoiding you at the end of summer because they know you're showing up with another bag of zucchini. That is the kind of problem July gardeners love to have. Plant your seeds directly into the soil rather than starting indoors. Squash doesn't transplant well because it has sensitive roots, and direct sowing in warm July soil actually gives you faster results anyway. The soil temperature speeds up germination so much that you could see sprouts within 4 or 5 days. Give each plant plenty of room to spread because squash leaves get large and dramatic and they will shade out anything planted too close. Keep an eye out for squash vine borers if you're in a region where those are common. Check the base of your stems regularly for entry holes and catch them early. Other than that, this crop is low maintenance and extremely high reward from a garden that most people have already written off for the season. Crop 4, okra. Now here's one that doesn't get nearly enough credit. Okra is one of the most heat-tolerant vegetables you can grow, and it genuinely performs better when the temperatures are high. While other crops are wilting and struggling in the July sun, okra just keeps reaching upward. It's a tall, almost architectural plant that produces pods continuously once it gets going, and those pods come fast, so you'll want to harvest every 2 to 3 days to keep the plant producing. Let a pod get too big and tough and the plant starts to slow down. Stay on top of the harvest and it just keeps going. If you've never grown okra before, July is honestly the ideal time to start. Get it in the ground now, give it full sun, and it will produce right up until the first frost. Crop 5, sweet corn. This one comes with a condition and it's important, so pay attention. Sweet corn planted in July works beautifully, but only if your first frost date is at least 70 to 80 days away. So before you go buying seed, check your local frost date, count backward from it, and see if the math works for your area. If it does, go for it without hesitation. There is nothing quite like pulling an ear of corn straight from your own garden, peeling it back right there in the row, and biting into it. The sweetness of homegrown corn at peak ripeness is genuinely in a different category from anything you'll find in a store, and that experience alone is worth planning for. Corn needs space and it needs to be planted in blocks rather than long single rows. Pollination in corn happens through the wind. The pollen falls from the tassels at the top down onto the silks below, and that process works best when plants are close together on all sides. A single row pollinates poorly and you end up with ears full of gaps. Plant in a square block, water consistently especially during tasseling and silk development, and choose varieties labeled as early maturing. Anything that finishes in 65 to 70 days gives you the best chance of a full harvest before cold weather arrives. Before we keep going, if this video is giving you ideas you didn't have when you clicked on it, tap that like button right now. It takes 1 second and it helps this video reach more gardeners who need exactly this kind of content. Subscribe if you're not already part of this community and drop a comment below. Tell me which crop on this list you're most surprised about. I read every single comment and I want to hear from you. Crop 6, southern peas. Southern peas go by a lot of names depending on where you grew up: black-eyed peas, Crowder peas, cowpeas, field peas. But whatever you call them, they are one of July's most dependable and underappreciated performers. These are warm weather vegetables through and through, and they were practically designed for summer planting in hot climates. What makes them especially interesting is that they fix nitrogen in the soil as they grow. That means they're not just feeding your family, they're actually improving your garden soil at the same time. After you harvest and remove the plants, the area where they grew will be slightly richer than it was before. For a budget gardener, that kind of built-in benefit is hard to beat. They're drought-tolerant once established, they don't demand rich or heavily amended soil, and they thrive in exactly the kind of hot, dry conditions that send other vegetables into survival mode. A single packet of seeds covers a generous planting area, and the return on that small investment is impressive. Start harvesting when the pods are plump and full for fresh shell peas, or leave them on the vine to dry completely if you want to store them and use them through the winter months. Either way you win. Crop 7, sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes are in a category of their own when it comes to July planting. You're not planting seeds here, you're planting slips, which are small rooted sprouts that come off a sweet potato. And once those slips go in the ground, they spread and fill in quickly in warm soil. The vines will cover a lot of ground, which actually works in your favor because they naturally suppress weeds. Sweet potatoes want heat, they want full sun, and they want loose, well-draining soil. The harvest typically comes about 90 to 100 days after planting, so a July planting lines up beautifully with a fall harvest right around the time you want sweet potatoes most. These are one of the most nutritious vegetables you can pull from your own garden, and they store incredibly well once cured properly. Crop 8, Carrots. Carrots might seem like a spring crop, and for a long time that's exactly how most gardeners treated them. But here's what changes your thinking: a July planting of carrots sets you up for a fall harvest that many experienced gardeners actually prefer over spring carrots. The reason comes down to something really interesting that happens when cool weather arrives. A light frost triggers the carrot to convert some of its stored starches into sugars as a kind of natural survival response. The result is a sweeter, more flavorful carrot that you pull from the ground right as the weather turns. You essentially let nature do the flavor work for you. The key with July carrots is keeping the soil surface consistently moist during germination. Carrot seeds are tiny and they sit very close to the surface, which means they dry out fast in summer heat. If that top layer of soil dries out before the seeds sprout, germination fails. Cover the seeded area with a light board or burlap for the first week to hold moisture in and check underneath daily. Once they're up, thin them to about 3 inches apart so each root has real room to develop, and make sure your soil is loose and deep enough for those roots to grow straight down without running into compacted layers. Crop 9, Turnips. Turnips don't always get the respect they deserve, and that is largely a reputation problem rather than a flavor problem. A lot of people have only ever had turnips that were overripe, overcooked, or just past their prime, and that experience sticks with them. But when you pull a young turnip from your own garden at the right stage, small, smooth, with that faint purple blush at the shoulder, it is a completely different vegetable. Young garden turnips are tender, mildly sweet, and nothing like the bitter tough roots that gave them a bad name. Plant them now in July for a fall harvest and you get that same cold weather sweetening effect that works so well for carrots. The roots become even better after the season shifts. What makes turnips especially practical is that they give you 2 crops from one planting. The roots are the main event, but the greens are fully edible and actually quite nutritious, rich in vitamins and with a flavor that works well sautéed with a little garlic. You can start harvesting the outer leaves well before the roots are ready, which means you're getting food from the plant almost immediately. They grow quickly, they're not demanding about soil quality, and they stretch a small gardening budget further than almost anything else you can plant this month. Crop 10, Kale. Kale planted in July will grow through the heat and come into its absolute best form as the weather cools down in fall. The flavor of kale transforms dramatically after the first frost. It becomes softer, sweeter, and far more enjoyable than summer kale that's been stressed by heat. Start your transplants now or direct sow and thin as they grow. Kale is tough. It can handle summer temperatures as long as you keep it watered, and it will outlast nearly everything else in your garden as temperatures drop. Some varieties will keep producing well into winter depending on your climate. For the budget gardener, kale is one of the highest value crops per square foot you can grow. A single plant keeps giving for months. Crop 11, Radishes. We are ending with the fastest crop on this entire list and possibly the most satisfying quick win in all of gardening. Radishes can go from seed to harvest in as little as 20 to 25 days. That is not a typo. You could plant radishes today and be eating them before July is even over. They are small, they slip in between other crops easily without taking up dedicated space, and they actually do a quiet service to your soil by helping break up compacted layers as their roots push down. In July heat, radishes can bolt and turn spicy fast if you leave them in the ground too long, so the strategy is to sow in small batches every 10 days to 2 weeks rather than planting one big row all at once. That succession approach gives you a rolling harvest, a fresh batch coming ready every couple of weeks instead of everything maturing at the same moment and going to seed before you can eat it all. They're also nearly free to grow. A single seed packet that costs almost nothing gives you hundreds of plants across multiple rounds of succession sowing. If you want instant gratification from your July garden, if you want to look out your window in 3 weeks and see something ready to pull, radishes deliver every single time without fail. And that is your complete July planting lineup. 11 crops that prove beyond any doubt that the growing season is not over and your garden still has months of real productive life ahead of it. Everything on this list gives you something genuine to harvest before the year closes out, and most of them cost next to nothing to get started. If you found this helpful, drop a comment below and tell me which crop you are planting first. I genuinely want to know. And if this is your first time on the channel, subscribe and come back every week. This is where practical gardening lives, the kind that keeps your garden producing without emptying your wallet. Until next time, keep your hands in the dirt. See you in the next one.